Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be covering some of my favorite long haul traveling essentials that I like to bring when I'm traveling on really long flights to keep myself comfortable as possible and hopefully as rested as possible in order for me to get to my destination. I just did a long haul flight from the US to East Africa, where I currently am in Nairobi, Kenya. And so my flight was from Chicago to Turkey, which was about 10 hours. There was like a 4 hour layover. And then from Turkey to Nairobi, Kenya was another 6 to 7 hours or so. A very long flight. So it's fresh in my mind, some of the things that I really enjoyed having. And so I'd like to share that with you today so that hopefully if you have a long haul trip that you are planning for, that you can be as prepared as possible. But before I get into all that, let me just introduce myself. My name is Nicole, and I am a nurse practitioner with a background in family medicine and family practice. On this channel, I help Black women age 40 and up to create a life that they desire to live rather than living the one that has been assigned to them. On this channel, I talk all things health and wellness and also medical tourism. So if those are things that are of interest to you, please go ahead and like this video and subscribe for more content along those lines. So one of my first and favorite long haul essential travel things is a crossbody bag. I really have found over the last couple years that crossbody bag is for me essential. I really love it. So this is the one that I am using most recently. I got it from Kohl's. I'm not sure what brand it is, but these are the things I love about it. Number one, it has this outside flap. And so for me, when I'm traveling, I really like to have my traveling documents really easily accessible. And so typically when I'm traveling, I like to put my passport, visa, airline tickets, or whatever I need to be able to easily access right here in this outer pocket. In addition to that, I typically will put my phone here as well. And this has a zip which opens, and on the inside, I'm going to cover my ID. And on the inside, of course, there's a place for your identification, which of course you want to have that easily accessible as well when you're traveling, but also some pockets for credit cards. And one of the things that I found that I really love about this is that it has an area to keep your currency. So typically whenever I'm traveling internationally, I do like to carry both some US currency but also some foreign currency. And for me, it's always best to keep those separate. So I really love the fact that in this particular crossbody bag, I can keep the foreign currency in one side and then my US currency, US dollars, in one side as well. Typically when I get to my destination or wherever I'm traveling to, and I no longer need to have my passport or traveling documents as accessible, I really like that I can take my traveling documents and stick them inside if that's what I want to do, and I can carry it like this, and then I can just keep my phone on the outside. Also, another way that I find this type of bag useful is that if I don't need to carry my travel documents at all, so if I'm going to store them away while I'm traveling rather than have them on me when I'm out and about and exploring the city and the location, I find this bag really convenient because I also recommend carrying a power bank. And so this power bank that I typically like to use easily stores either in the outside, on the outside pocket, or also can zip it up on the inside and then just keep the phone on the outside. So this is one of my favorite travel essentials for long haul flights. Secondly, I really love having a jacket that has lots of pockets. For me, traveling on a long haul flight, I really find that having lots of pockets is essential because I love to stick things that I may need again to easily access in my pockets. So the second, outside of the jacket and the wallet, the third essential that I highly recommend for long haul flights is an N95 mask. Of course, there are things still around, and we still have to be cautious about mitigating our risk for being exposed to infectious disease and things of that nature. So having an N95 mask for me is essential on a long haul flight. And then you'll also want to just make sure you find one that's comfortable, because typically a long haul flight, we're talking something that is going to be more than 8 hours, 8+ hours, 10+ hours. Sometimes you're going to have 20 hours of travel time. And so you're definitely going to want a mask that you're comfortable in, that's breathable, that you don't feel like you're suffocating. So it may be worth your while to go ahead and shop around to make sure that whatever mask that you choose for your long haul flight is one that you're going to be comfortable keeping on for the duration of the flight. And that's another reason why I love having my pockets, because typically if I don't need to have on my N95, or if I want to switch it out to just a regular mask rather than the N95, perhaps during layovers and that type of thing, then I can just stick my N95 into one of my many pockets. After that, the next essential, of course, is a refresh kit. And that will contain things such as my toothbrush, my toothpaste, my deodorant, my chapstick, hand sanitizer. Those types of things are essential for travel, especially if you're going to be on a long flight. You're going to sleep, you're going to wake up, and you're going to want to freshen up, clean your mouth. It's just going to help you to feel more comfortable overall. And also, it's good to have like some baby wipes or some wipes to just be able to clean up as you desire to, so that you're feeling comfortable. I keep looking down because I have my items here to the left. So the other thing that I really like to have on a long haul flight is I brought just this water bottle to have here, because I don't like to carry a water bottle, although it is essential to drink lots and lots of water when you're traveling. I know some people like to travel with their water bottle. I am one of those people who I don't like to travel with a water bottle. I find that I don't find it convenient to carry a big water bottle in my luggage. So typically what I do is, once I'm on the flight and they are passing out water or a water bottle, I keep that same water bottle and I'll use that for the duration of the long haul flight or the long haul travel, and I can just refill that as I need it. And that way I can discard it at the end of my travel, because I typically don't carry a water bottle around. It's heavy and I don't like carrying it on my back typically. In addition to that, I really love to have a scarf, so that way when I'm ready to relax and make myself comfortable to sleep, I can just wrap my hair up, and that'll help to maintain and protect my hair during the time that I'm sleeping. That way when I am ready to take off my scarf, my hair is not all over my head. So the other essential for me also, of course, is like an eye mask. Those are really helpful to reduce light so that you can relax and fall asleep on the flight. The next thing that I highly recommend are like high fidelity earplugs, which are really beneficial to help block out any noise. You can have on your eye mask, your high fidelity earplugs, which will help to reduce all the ancillary noise that would disrupt your ability to sleep as soundly as possible. Of course, having headphones or noise canceling earphones can be really helpful as well. I'm not really somebody who travels with noise canceling earphones. Honestly, I like to hear some of what's going on around me, so I don't like the idea of really not being able to hear anything at all. So I prefer like the earbuds or just having in some headphones where I have a book, an audio book going. But I know on a recent video, Anne Marie of Bald Girl Travels, she did a review of some earphones or some noise canceling headphones that she really enjoys, and you can check out her video if you're interested in hearing her review of that. One of the other things that I really love to have for long haul flights that I consider essential is cough drops. The air gets really, really dry when you're traveling. And to me, it seems like no matter how much water I'm drinking, even though I'm not sick, I'm typically prone to developing like a little tickle in the back of my throat or something like that, and will occasionally get a little bit of a mild cough. And so I found that it's most comfortable for me to be able to pop in a cough drop rather than to struggle with coughing. And the more I try to suppress it, the worse it gets. People start thinking that you have COVID. It just makes for a very uncomfortable, for a very uncomfortable experience, not only for you, but perhaps the people who are sitting around you. So having a few cough drops or like hard candy or something like that you can pop in if you develop that kind of tickle in the back of your throat, or that little irritation, or you get a little food caught back there that's kind of triggering something. It's good to have something on hand for that. And of course, a neck pillow is really, really beneficial and helpful to have, help you sleep. I don't love neck pillows, but what are our options? Um, Sleeping on an airplane is going to be challenging anyways, but you know, having a neck pillow does help to some degree so that you're able to relax your neck. Or sometimes I'll use this and just kind of fold it up if I'm at like a window seat so that I can press my head against the window seat using this as opposed to just being on the plastic. The other thing, of course, that I like to have available to me on long haul flights are any medicines that I might need during the duration of the flight. So if your travel time is going to be like 20 plus hours, like it was getting from US to East Africa here, travel time for us was something like 24 hours. So in a 24-hour period, if there are typically going to be medications that you require, then you're definitely gonna want to make sure that you have those things accessible to you. Um, so for me, that was in traveling here to East Africa, I had to ensure that I had like my anti-malaria medication on hand so I could continue to take that as was prescribed. In addition to that, I always like to have my standard like pain reliever that I like to use, like ibuprofen, and I always carry Pepto-Bismol for in the case I get an upset stomach. That's one of the worst things to deal with to me, as far as I'm concerned, when I'm traveling, especially long travel where there's reduced access to, comfortable bathrooms. Having an upset stomach is something that's very uncomfortable. But having something like Pepto Bismol on hand can really help, especially when you're eating like airplane food, or you're gonna lay over in another country. You may eat some food that you're not used to, and those things can kind of just upset your stomach a little bit. So I really like having a little Pepto Bismol accessible in the case that I do get an upset stomach. And then, last but not least, one of the things that I like to have is like a little blanket or something like that to be able to keep myself warm and comfortable when I do settle down to fall asleep on a long haul flight. I don't really like thicker blankets. I try to keep it as thin as possible in order for it to not take up too much space in my luggage. Sometimes the flights will give them to you. On my recent flight, it was with Turkish Airlines, and they did provide some blankets, so that was really nice. But there's not always a guarantee of that. So in order to just be comfortable, for me, I always make sure I have something available to help keep myself warm during a long haul flight. So that is all that I have. I'm just looking at my supply. Oh no, I missed something. One more thing. Of course, your charging cords, charging cables, those types of things. I always have in my personal item. so that way I can access all of my charging cords, charging cables, and that type of thing to keep my phone up and going, or whatever I'm going to be using through the duration of the flight. And the other thing, now that I think about it, is this travel adapter. So as I said, I'm currently in Kenya, and depending on what country you are traveling to, their power source may be different. So having a travel adapter too is really good to have when traveling abroad, to keep with you, so that way you can make sure you can keep your devices powered when you get to your destination. So those are the things that I have for you today. Thank you for staying till the end. If you are interested, please go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what types of things you like to carry when you're on a long haul flight that I may have missed. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.